interview that was a post game with Patrick Mahomes talking about
let's talk about
about Patrick Mahomes saying that he thinks that his defense is the best in the league. Take a listen.
Best defense that you've had as a Chief?
I think it's the best defense in the NFL. So, I mean, if we have a defense like that, we're going to get this offense figured out. I promise you. And then we're going to be a hard team to beat.
So for me, they're not the best defense in the league. I know that Patrick Mahomes has to say that because he's the quarterback of that team. And I totally respect that, but there's no way that they are the best team in the league. And the other thing is on the tail end of that I don't think a lot of people are talking about is that he said that we'll get the offense right. We're in week 9 and they still don't look put together. I just don't know at what point they do look put together. I don't think that it's the Chiefs' year this year. I could be wrong. We've said that about the Patriots in the past as far as that dynasty is concerned. So I guess you should never rule them out. They are 7-2 after all. But when you take a look at their schedule and the teams that they've played and how Patrick Mahomes and that offense has performed, they go up against a team like the Ravens or even I would say even the Browns, some of the other tougher defenses, the Eagles. I don't think that Patrick Mahomes is going to have a good day against any of those teams, and the Chiefs could end up losing that game as a result.
Man, I will say this. I think the Ravens have the best defense, but the Chiefs, I will never count out the Chiefs until they are no longer in the dance. And the fact I do believe in Patrick Mahomes. When they say they're going to figure out on offense, it might be ugly. I think they're going to figure it out. And I think that they are still, as great as the Ravens are, I think the Chiefs still have to be the AFC favorites until further notice. I mean, we're seeing Patrick Mahomes not play his best ball, and the Chiefs are still beating teams. And I think that's scary. And they did that Jacksonville win even looks better for them because the Jaguars seem to be surging at the right point.
Yeah. I think the difference between the Chiefs defense and the Ravens defense, and it's like kind of one of those things where it's like there's levels to this. The Chiefs defense is being compared to other good defenses in the NFL right now. The Ravens defense is being compared to some of the greatest defenses of all time.
Correct.
And so, yeah, like you said, Brad, what's Patrick Mahomes going to say? He's not going to go, well, I mean, we're not figuring out on offense, but, a defense could at least pick up some of the slack. No, defense is playing well. He's going to hype them up, hype his boys up, keep vibes going in the right direction. Because like you said, until they're out of it, I will not count out the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the team to beat in the AFC until proven not. But it's blasphemous.
No, I absolutely
even put that in the same sentence.
I agree. And to your point about guys saying their defenses are the best in the league, you're going to see that a lot.
Yeah.
Like the Bills would probably say that about their defense. The Chiefs are going to say that about their defense. The Bengals would probably say it about their defense.
Everyone's going to.
The only difference is when the Ravens say it, it's the truth.
And their stats to back it up.
That's not a bias or anything. Like Justin Madubuike was saying that I do believe this group's the best defense in the league. And he said, I believe the scoreboard's showing it. I believe stopping the run showing it. The sacks are showing it. They have, you want to cite your examples, works cited and not use Wikipedia we all do for our essays and stuff, even though the teachers tell us not to do it. The Ravens have the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, top to bottom right now. And that Cardinals game is kind of an outlier, and they said it afterwards. We did not play to our standard. That's not the standard of Ravens football. Roquan especially said that. What we just saw on Sunday, that is the standard of Ravens football. That is a standard that this unit wants to set each and every week, and I'm sure we're going to see a few more performances like that going forward.
Next week?
Next week's going to be big, I'll say this.
Next
Brad.
week, hold on. Next week, the Chiefs play the Eagles.
Yeah.
The Chiefs play the Eagles.
Well, are they on a bye or are they playing next week?
The 20th. Sorry, they're on a bye. So the next game that the Chiefs play will be against the Eagles on November 20th.
Woo. That's the
that'll be that. So I understand everybody's point, but for me, that'll be like if the Chiefs can go in and beat the Eagles, they're at Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So they can go in Philadelphia and win that game. Then I will start to change my tune. But if they go in and play like they did against Denver or even against Miami, forget about it. The Chiefs are not going to be that team deep into the playoffs. I just don't see it.
I agree with you. I think that's a fair point. Exactly. That's going to be a test next week against the Eagles because that's a game Eagles fans have had circled on the calendar since they lost in the Super Bowl. And if you think that Jalen Hurts hasn't been thinking about that game,
right,
and he isn't thinking about putting up 3 or 4 or 5 touchdown performance against the Chiefs. I mean,
would you say that the pressure's on the Eagles in that game? Which is weird because, like you're saying, they've had it circled for all this time. And I think for the Chiefs going into it, they're going to be more focused on trying to right the ship, their own stuff. Whereas I could see the Chiefs winning this because almost the Eagles put too much pressure on themselves. Like you're saying, where it's like they've built it up to this massive game where it'll be interesting to see what the energy's like if it's matched by both teams.
I think it'll depend. And Brad, you could touch on this more, but like if you look at the game they just played against the Cowboys, that's the game that everyone gets hyped about. Especially at Lincoln Financial Field. Like that's the game everyone gets up for. The fan base, the players, everyone. It's like F Dallas week. Dallas sucks. We hate Dallas. All about that. Like now, it's like if I'm hoping for the Eagles, for their sake, that they didn't not necessarily put all their eggs in one basket, but they're not overlooking this game. You know, it's the next game up mentality. They don't have a game to look ahead to, is what I'm saying. But like looking at that game, you used all your energy in that game, and going forward against the Chiefs, you're like mentally like you just. But I'm telling you, I think this isn't the Eagles Super Bowl, but it's like I feel like it's pretty damn close as far as a game like this.
Well, I'd say the Chiefs. I don't think any pressure is going to be on the Chiefs unless they have a losing streak or they're really out of it, because everyone's gonna, until that they're out. I know I'm saying it again. They just,
as long as Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback,
you feel like something crazy can happen. But also, I will say they've had the luxury of those games going through Kansas City and having the chance, so that helps. Now, if the Chiefs are not going to have it run through Kansas City, I think that can start to have a little bit of a different question. But for that game specifically, I think Philly's going to trying to be out to prove more. And if they lose that game, it's going to bring some more frustrations upon, especially Philly's got a really tough schedule down the stretch.
Yeah, they really do.